Morning everyone, my name's Alex and you're watching Alex's Fishing. In today's video we're out here at the River Murray chasing the elusive Murray Cod. I've got my car here with the kayak tied on top. I'm going to be kayaking the river and we're going to be fishing around the clay cliffs where they usually sit. So what I've got tied on is just a big deep diving lure. That's what I'm using, just on bait cast gear. And it was a nice sleep in the troopy and woke up this morning around 6:30 a.m, not a breath of wind. So I'm gonna get the kayak off and put her in the water. So you'll see me in the water in a second. So we've got it set up and we're pretty ready to go. It's not a morning down at the Murray if you don't hear these cockatoos growling. Such an iconic sound, but they get a bit annoying after time. We'll get on the water and I'll see you at the cliffs. So stay tuned guys. All right, let's get out on the water. Another thing I didn't tell you guys is that I'm bringing the fly rod, and the fly rod's there just in case I see any carp mooching along the banks along the way there. It's just a little bit of fun on the side note, but we've got this big stump jump looking thing. It's a 24-foot diver, so it dives pretty deep, which is what you need around the cliffs there. The cliffs are a steep drop off and usually the cod sit in the little holes along those cliffs. I've chosen green because I've heard green's working really well recently on them, but let's give it a crack and I'll see you out there guys. Alright, so we're out on the water and the spot I want to go to is about 1.5 k down the river down there. And yeah, it's a nice steep cliff edge, so we'll want to troll up and down that stretch a few times. Look at all those cockatoos. Alright, so we're at the cliffs and it's much smaller than I imagined, but it gives us more room to work. So I'll go up and down it maybe 20-40 times because I guarantee there's at least calop or small cod kicking around these rock ledges. So we'll give it a good bash, all sorts of different depths as well, and just work this whole cliff edge. There's a lot of pelicans just mooching around, so I'm not sure if that's a sign, but let's get the trolling lure out behind us and give it a good whack. So I'm probably going to throw it behind us maybe 15 to 20 meters just to get that extra depth out of it. That was about 10 meters and I'm just going to give it some more line. And I'm running 20-pound leader today because you never know when you're going to hook that fish of a lifetime. And they are bloody strong fish, especially when they're over a meter from what I've seen in videos. That should be enough line. All right, let's start trolling. So I've done a couple of laps with this 90mm Invader, but it was just more of a scout. So I checked the depth around the edge and it's fairly deep. Half the time it wasn't even touching the bottom. So I'm gonna chuck a deeper diver and chuck this Goodoo Hunter or Hoodlum Hunter. It's the same lure I caught the Murray Cod in my last Murray River video. So it sort of looks like a duo, but it's a fairly deep hard body. And I'm just going to tie that on and troll it around, see if we can't pull a fish or two. It's hard going with Murray Cod fishing, so don't always expect fish. I'm going to be staying here for a day and a half. Who knows, I probably won't even catch one. It's just a matter of giving it a good bash and seeing what happens. Yes. Hooked up, guys. That's definitely a fish, but it feels like a calop. I turned the camera on just as I was hitting the bottom, because that meant there was a bit of structure for the fish. Doesn't feel very big, whatever it is. But that was about the 5th lap of this cliff edge. I don't know if we've still got him. Yeah, we've still got him. I wonder what he is. Got a bit of weight now. Might be a little... Oh, that's a nice calop. I was just about to say a little cod. But check that out for a calop. Good fish. He might shake the hook any second. But I'll try get it in. Oh, there we have it. Oh, he's a bit shredded. This guy looks like an old fish. But check that out, guys. That's a wonderful fish. Not in the best condition. Got him on that, I reckon it's about an 80mm lure. But it's a deep diver. Let's give him a measure. How convenient is this? A measuring tape next to the kayak. Holy crap. That's a 50cm calop. I was not expecting this calop to be that big. It's quite skinny for how long it is, but it measures 50 centimeters. Calop aren't, or they are native, but they aren't protected like cod and silver perch. There he goes. Not a bad bycatch, chasing cod. Can't complain with that. That's a PB calop for me. We're only trolling at a very slow pace, but when I'm paddling with the current, I'm paddling a little bit faster, just because the lure needs to rattle, and when it's swimming with the current, it needs to be that little bit faster to start rattling. But when I'm against the current, I'm paddling super slow, because obviously the current pushes the bib down. So the current pretty much does all the work. And I'm just working my way up and down, trying different depths to see where the structure is. And I've already found a nice bommy, which I pulled a calop off. I actually turned the camera on as soon as I started hitting it, because I was waiting for that one bite. And because the water's so murky, they can actually hear it hitting the rocks or the tree stumps underwater, which is why the lures I'm using have a bit of rattle in them as well, because the rattle usually attracts them. So a lot of time goes into it. My arms are getting sore, but I've still got 3/4 of a day to go. It'll be worthwhile if I get one. Alright, so I've done a lap and I went back, and now I'm coming back this way. And my lure's just about to go over the part where it starts hitting the bottom. So I'm just watching the tip and feeling it through my legs. Waiting to feel that thump, thump, thump. There we go. I called it. It's hitting the bottom right now. As you can see, every now and then it gets caught on the rocks. But because the bib's so big, it just knocks over the rocks and the trebles don't get stuck. Alright guys, so I've done about 6 more laps of the cliff using the Gudu Hunter, but I've just switched it up to a Stump Jumper now. Stump Jumper's got a bit of a larger profile and brighter colours, so we'll give it a crack and hopefully something else grabs it. Alright, so out of the 3 lures I used this morning, I reckon this one's my favourite. It dives super deep and it's got an incredible action underwater, but I trolled it up and down, did a few laps, and haven't had a hit on it. So I reckon I'll flick it this afternoon. But what I've got tied on now is a Daiwa, can't remember what they're called, but it's a little chubby deep diver, and I'm going to chuck this along the edge of the cliff. Hopefully we get a calop or so. We might even get a small cod if we're lucky, but just going to run it right next to the cliffs under the ledge. Alright, so we've pretty much worked the whole cliff casting this Daiwa lure in chase of calop, but unfortunately we didn't even get a single hit. So I'm just going to muck around with some carp now, see if I can find some. If I do, you'll see some footage, but otherwise I'll see you later in the Arvo when we hit that cliff again. So don't run away, guys. Alright, so we gave the cliff a good bash this morning chasing cod. I ended up getting a 50cm calop, which was a nice consolation prize, but unfortunately we targeted calop and carp as well. Couldn't even see a carp, which is very unusual, and no hits on the calop lures, but we probably trolled that cliff maybe, I'd say 15 times. It was a hefty morning. It's probably about 11:30 or 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. sorry, at the moment. So I'm gonna go back to the car, and I reckon my next plan of attack is to make a move. I'm probably gonna drive a little further downstream in search of some more cliffs, and hopefully we get onto a few calop or cod. So I'll fish this afternoon at a different cliff, and I've also got tomorrow morning to fish, and I'm catching up with Lee. He's a gun fisho, works at BCF I believe, but yeah, met him when I was a bit younger. He showed me the ropes of mulloway fishing as well, so we'll meet up with him a bit later tomorrow. Cheers. Alright guys, so we've arrived at the second location. Just need to get the kayak off the roof now. Wonderful conditions out there. And I'll be fishing this Arvo. So hopefully when the sun's going down we get a big cod. So we'll troll it all afternoon until sunset. And fingers crossed, something grabs hold of it. Something green and mean. Let's do this. So the sun's just about set and we have not had a single hit. I've been up and down this cliff maybe, I'd say 8 times, and it's a little bit bigger than the first one we were fishing. It's like the freshwater mulloway, elusive. But we've still got tomorrow morning, and I'm meeting Lee at the campsite tonight, and we're gonna head out tomorrow morning together, but I've got to leave early anyways, so I'll have a 3-hour session and see how that goes. Yeah, those rocks are awesome, but it's around end of year that they fire up there. Yeah, nice, not a bad fish. First fish of the morning for Lee. Look at that. Chunky.
bit of fin rot to him, but...
Well done. I've got a measuring tape here if you want to measure it. It's like right here.
No, where's the zero?
Right there.
Yeah, he's not far off.
44.
43, 44. No, about that. Yeah, 43.
Nice work.
I'm just looking at the guts on
I
him.
know.
Jesus.
He's a fat fish.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's healthy. Nice. First fish of the morning. Oh, well, cheers for joining me.
That's right.
Good luck, Lee.
No worries,
Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too, man.
Catch up again soon. Alright guys, so we gave it a good bash this morning along the cliff edges and a bit of timber as well, trolling up and down. We didn't end up getting any cod, but Lee did get a nice calop. It measured 44 centimeters, so that's a wicked fish. Well done, Lee. Yeah, unfortunately no cod. What can I say? We gave it a good shot, and that's cod fishing, I guess. So it leaves us to next time, hopefully. But thanks so much for watching this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And I really appreciate the support, especially from my patrons, helping me financially with trips like these. So cheers for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.